Welcome to our news bulletin. My name is Tandy Wenzumara. First, the headlines. Pope Leo XIV invites Catholics to pray that all sport may promote peace, fraternity, and communion. Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace hails diplomatic staff cuts as boost to fiscal discipline. Public Accounts Committee of Parliament expresses concern over Malawi Housing Corporation rental arrears dating back to 2008, warns delayed recovery efforts are hindering debt collection. And in other news, 9 students to be held in custody over deadly school fire in Kenya. We have the details to these stories and more to stay with us. Pope Leo XIV has urged Catholics across the globe to join him this June in praying for the values of sports and that all sport may promote peace, fraternity, and communion. In his prayer intention for the month of June, the Pope has recognized the great benefits but also the inherent challenges in the world of sport, praying that sporting events may promote peace and fraternity. We have more details in this Vatican News report read by Charity Chilanga.
In the prayer intention, the Holy Father thanked the Lord for the gift of sport, for those who glorify God through the exercise of their bodies, for the friendships born on the field and the joy of playing as a team. Recalling how the Lord teaches us that in life, as in the game, no one is saved alone, the Holy Father has insisted that we need others to grow, learn respect, overcome our limits, and to celebrate together the victories we achieve. Thus, Pope Leo prays that sport may always be a school of fraternity, not of empty rivalry, a space of encounter, not exclusion, a path of peace, not violence. He also prays that every sport becomes a parable of life lived with you, working with joy and effort, living with humility in defeat, and with gratitude in the victory you offer in your resurrection. In conclusion, the Holy Father prays that our spirits may never be lacking in us, making us one team, united with you to build communion and fraternity in history. Founded in 1844 as the Apostleship of Prayer, the Pope's Worldwide Prayer Network is a pontifical work entrusted to the Society of Jesus. At the center of its mission are the monthly prayer intentions of the Pope, inviting its members to focus on the pressing challenges facing humanity and the Church's mission.
The Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace has welcomed government's decision to reduce the number of diplomats serving in Malawi's foreign missions, describing the move as a significant step toward prudent public expenditure. In an interview with Luntha television on Thursday, CCJP National Coordinator Luis Msiadungu praised the office of the President and Cabinet for cutting the number of diplomatic appointments from 193 to 139, saying the measure will help save public resources and allow government funds to be redirected to critical sectors of the economy. Emmanuel Shiwocha has found this report.
In his remarks, Msiadungu noted that President Arthur Mutharika and his administration have consistently emphasized the importance of austerity and responsible financial management, saying the reduction in diplomatic personnel reflects the government's commitment to those principles. Msiadungu further stressed the need for the newly appointed diplomats to represent Malawi effectively and professionally in order to maximize the benefits of the country's diplomatic engagement abroad.
As CCJP Malawi, we are happy with this particular decision because it means now we are walking the talk of having austerity measures being put in place. I think the resources that were meant to cater for all those particular diplomatic individuals will be saved for other purposes. So what we would want to see is that these savings are assisting Malawians, especially in the delivery of social services.
Meanwhile, governance expert George Jaima has welcomed the decision, describing it as a practical approach to reducing unnecessary expenditure in the foreign mission.
Because the government wants to make sure that it's operating and running these diplomatic missions in a very effective and efficient manner. You know, diplomatic missions have been abusing powers and also public resources. Sometimes when the number is very high, it's very difficult to control officers within a specific or particular office.
The government recently appointed diplomats to serve in various Malawian embassies and missions across the world. Reports indicate that some lower-ranking diplomats posted abroad receive foreign services allowances averaging approximately to $4,000 per month, about 7 million kwacha, while government-funded housing rentals average around $2,500, approximately 4.4 million per month. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Chiwocha.
The Public Accounts Committee, PAC of Parliament, has expressed concern over the long-standing rental arrears at the Malawi Housing Corporation (MHC), some of which date back to 2008, warning that delayed recovery efforts have made it increasingly difficult to recover the outstanding funds. PAC Chairperson Steve Baba Malondera made these remarks in Lilongwe after the committee met MHC Chief Executive Officer Bob Chinkango and his management team to review issues highlighted in the Auditor General's report. We have more details on this report filed by Gift Kalunga.
Malondera said the committee is worried that unpaid rentals have accumulated over the years, with some balances proving difficult to recover due to low historical rental charges and inadequate follow-up mechanisms. He said PAC has directed MHC to conduct a tenant-by-tenant review of outstanding accounts, identify recoverable amounts, and write off small balances that are no longer economically viable to pursue. The committee has also urged the corporation to strengthen its commercial operations and revenue collection systems to improve financial performance and reduce the gap between expenditure and income.
When you're looking at Malawi Housing Corporation, you're talking of dormant house rentals, balances which have been unpaid for so long. Some are dating as far as 2008, 2009, up to now. It appears it's expensive to recover because even the rentals at that stage or in those years were very low. And when you're looking at something which has happened 18 years down the line, it's extremely difficult to recover in full. So we've asked the Malawi Housing Corporation to go back and have a proper analysis.
Responding to the concerns raised in the Auditor's General report, MHC CEO Bob Chinkango told the committee that the corporation is addressing issues such as dormant rental accounts, ground rents, and disputed property ownership while working to recover arrears, clean up records, correct billing irregularities, and strengthen its financial position despite challenges including untraceable former tenants, rising construction costs, and delayed rental reviews.
Basically, we came here because there are queries that had been noted by the Auditor General who presented to the committee. So we were invited here to respond to those queries. The queries have to do with house rentals. Some people who occupy the housing estates or entities a long way back, but others abandoned them, others maybe died, others cannot just be traced. And then those are what we call like more like dormant data. So they were asking us to say, what are we doing about it? And they, as you may have heard, they've directed us to say there are others which cannot be traced. Maybe we can't even say we should go by legal means to collect them. We should find a way to resolve them. But for others that can still be traced, we have also been energized to go for them to say, make sure these people pay, no matter how small the figure is.
Meanwhile, PAC has requested the Malawi Housing Corporation to undertake a comprehensive audit of its rental and ground rental records and to provide detailed documentation on outstanding accounts and disputed property ownership cases as part of efforts to improve accountability and financial management. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Gift Kalonga.
Social and political commentator Alaki Berry has described Malawi government's decision to repatriate citizens affected by rising anti-immigrant attacks in South Africa as a welcome move, but says the intervention should have come sooner. Speaking in an interview, Mbewe said the deteriorating security situation facing foreign nationals in parts of South Africa had been evident for some time, warranting an earlier response from authorities to safeguard vulnerable Malawians. Alison Banda has filed this report.
Mbewe noted that while government's decision demonstrates concern for welfare of its citizens abroad, the focus should now be on ensuring affected Malawians and assist them upon their return home.
It has to be noted before the government that some of those that will be coming back left Malawi a long time ago. It's very important to understand the dynamics around where are they going to be hosted, what measures have been put in place to support them to pick up from where they, so much so that they should not find their way back to South Africa again when the situation normalizes. What I'm talking about is the issue to do with startup capital for them to establish their own businesses so that they are able to pick up and get organized before it is too late.
His remarks comes as Malawi government announced the plans to facilitate the voluntary return of Malawians in South Africa who wish to come back home following a siege and anti-migrants attacks. According to Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Charles Nkalamba, the repatriation exercise will only involve citizens who have requested assistance with logistical arrangements currently being finalized.
In this regard, the government will soon commence a voluntary repatriation exercise for Malawian nationals that have requested government support for their return home. The repatriation exercise is intended only for Malawian nationals who have voluntarily indicated their willingness to return home and require logistical support from the government. Accordingly, the public will be formally informed of the final logistics of the repatriation exercise once all preparations are completed.
The development follows reports of xenophobic violence in South Africa reported to have sought refuge, and other countries are reported to sought refuge in temporary shelters.
Remember that you're watching news coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center. A recap of the headlines before we proceed. Pope Leo XIV invites Catholics to pray that all sport may promote peace, fraternity, and communion. Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace hails diplomatic staff cuts as boost to fiscal discipline. Public Accounts Committee of Parliament expresses concern over Malawi Housing Corporation rental arrears dating back to 2008, warns delayed recovery efforts are hindering debt collection. And in other news, 9 students to be held in custody over deadly school fire in Kenya. Proceeding with the news, Minister of Information and Digitalization Shadrack Lamalomba has described the Huawei Malawi ICT Talent Training Program as a key initiative that will help accelerate Malawi's digital transformation agenda by equipping young people with critical information and communication technology skills. Lamalomba made the remarks during the launch of the 2026 Huawei Malawi ICT Talent Training Program at Kamuzu University of Health Sciences campus in Lilongwe. We have more details on this report filed by Gift Kalonga.
Speaking at the event, Namalomba said the government is committed to expanding development connectivity across the country, particularly in rural communities, through various projects being implemented with support from the People's Republic of China and the World Bank. He further encouraged students to embrace emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, and use them to develop innovative solutions to challenges facing Malawi.
Only about 30% of Malawians do have a smartphone. What does that mean? It may be a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. It presents itself to us, to the investors, to the business people in this country, to now think about manufacturing smart devices in this country. And government has already provided incentives. We are talking of duty-free. We are talking of concessions. When you invest in that, you are going to pay no duty. And this is the demonstration that we are creating a neighborhood environment. But also most importantly, once we now have the devices here, we are exploring, and we very soon come to, once we have gotten the programs, why not getting each and every student a smart laptop? When I'm saying a student, I'm not talking about an university student, secondary school, primary school. In the end, we are all going to have a digitally skilled nation ready to go forward.
Chinese ambassador to Malawi, Lucio, said the Huawei Malawi ICT Talent Training Program represents a long-term investment in the country's future by empowering young people with digital skills that are essential for economic growth and technological advancement. He said the initiative will contribute significantly to Malawi's digital transformation efforts and help prepare the next generation for opportunities in the digital economy.
We have a very high technology and talent, and also the human capacity. So we would like to offer Malawi such an opportunity to promote the level of digitalization and also the talent training through Huawei's program. The Chinese government always encourage its enterprises to invest here, but not just for making money, making profits, but on the sustainable development delivered with a serious commitment to social responsibility.
Meanwhile, the government of China has reaffirmed its commitment to supporting Malawi's digital transformation by encouraging more Chinese companies to invest in the country's ICT and technology sectors. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Gift Kalonga.
Airtel Money Marketing Director Joshua Sichinga has said the ongoing Airtel Money Tola promotion is part of the company's commitment to rewarding customers while promoting the use of digital financial services across the country. Speaking during this week's draw, Sichinga noted that the promotion, which runs from May to August, continues to make a meaningful impact by giving thousands of Malawians an opportunity to improve their lives through substantial cash rewards. Bridget Manoga has more details in this report.
Sichinga added that each week, 3 winners walk away with 5 million kwacha each, while 300 other participants receive 50,000 kwacha each. He further emphasized that Airtel Money remains focused on financial inclusion, saying the promotion is designed not only to reward loyalty but also to encourage more people, especially in rural and underserved areas, to adopt safer and more convenient digital transactions. Sichinga also highlighted that beyond the cash prices, the initiative is helping stimulate small-scale economic activity as many winners are investing in education, housing, and small businesses.
By doing what they normally do on Airtel Money, as they transact on Airtel Money, as they pay bills, as they buy bundles, we want to reward customers for their services on Airtel Money. Besides that, what we want to see is to see how customers can improve their lives in these economic situations where we see, like today we saw that we had a student who has won 5 million. How can this money help him through his school fees and the like? We've seen a farmer in the north who has won 5 million. He's excited, he wants to build a house. That's empowering our customers. So these are exciting things that we want to see our customers who have been with us, who transact on the Airtel Money platform, get away with and improve their lives through this dollar promotion.
This week's 5 million Kwacha winners include Kenneth Simfukwe, a farmer from Chiriba district who plans to build a modern house. The second winner is Richard Kankuni, currently based in South Africa. The third winner, Yamikani Homa, a 20-year-old from 3 student at Mulanje Mission Secondary School, said he intends to use the money for school needs as well as to start a small business to support his future. Bridget Mwanoka, for Luntha News.
Nine girls suspected of planning and executing a fire that killed 16 fellow students at a Kenyan boarding school are to be held in custody for up to 21 days. A court in Naivasha on Wednesday ruled they will be remanded at a children's home to allow detectives to complete their investigations and determine whether to bring charges. We have more details in this African News Report read by Adams Manelupembe.
Hezron Mogire, a lawyer representing the girls, told the court there were no compelling reasons to detain the girls for 30 days as requested by investigators. Mbogo Macharia, who is representing the families of the girls who died, welcomed the ruling and called for a thorough investigation before the case was back in court on 24th of June. The fire on the 28th May ripped through the Utumishi Girls' School dormitory that housed 202 students in Gilgil, near Naivasha, 90 kilometers west of capital Nairobi. Investigators said pupils struggled to escape the flames as the school matron failed to open an emergency door, forcing all students to scamper through a single doorway. The 9 suspects, all in their teens, were arrested following the questioning of students and a review of a CCTV footage. It was revealed that the fire was started by pupils lighting a mattress at the exit to the dormitory using a matchstick and paraffin. No motive has been revealed so far for the reason of the attack. The results of DNA tests determine the identities of some of the bodies that were charred beyond recognition were due to be announced on Wednesday. For Luntha News, this is Adams Manelupembe.
We now give you the weather update compiled by our colleague Sepiwa Kodakoboto.
Good evening, and it's time for weather forecast. Cold to cool temperatures were experienced this morning over most areas, with Chidedze and Nilongwe reporting the lowest at 10 degrees Celsius, followed by Kamuzu International Airport, Mazisini Mzimba and Mzuzu, which reported 11 degrees Celsius. We are currently still expecting partly cloudy conditions to persist over most areas, with clear skies expected in some areas over the central as well as the southern part of the country. Cool to cold conditions are also expected to persist over most areas tonight and during morning hours, accompanied by fog patches in some areas, especially over the valleys. This is all due to the influence of an easterly air mass, which is still bringing in fairly moist air from the Indian Ocean and influencing most of these activities over us. Tonight, we should therefore expect clear skies to persist over most areas in the south, as well as the central part of the country, accompanied by partly cloudy conditions in some areas. Similar conditions are also expected tomorrow in the morning hours, accompanied by fog patches in some areas, as well as occasionally windy conditions. Temperatures will feel mild tomorrow in the morning hours over Ngabu, Nsanje, Mangochi, and most areas along the lakeshore, but we should expect cold conditions to persist over most areas in the central, while cool conditions are expected over the southern highlands. Looking into the afternoon hours of tomorrow, we should expect partly cloudy conditions over the southern part of the country, the central, as well as the northern part. Temperatures will feel hot tomorrow in the afternoon over Ngabu and Nsanje at 32 degrees Celsius, 30 over Mangochi and Monkibe, but we should expect warm conditions to persist over most areas in the south, the central, as well as the northern part. Looking into Saturday, we should expect partly cloudy conditions to persist over most areas, accompanied by warm conditions during the day, as well as cold to cool temperatures at night and during morning hours. Be wise, be weatherwise.
And that also marks the end of our bulletin. The headlines before we leave. Pope Leo XIV invites Catholics to pray that all sport may promote peace, fraternity, and communion. Catholic Commission for Justice and Peace hails diplomatic staff cuts as boost to fiscal discipline. Public Accounts Committee of Parliament expresses concern over Malawi Housing Corporation rental arrears dating back to 2008, warns delayed recovery efforts are hindering debt collection. And in other news, 9 students to be held in custody over deadly school fire in Kenya. My name is Tandy Wemzumara. Thank you for keeping me company and continue following the rest of our programs right here on Luntha TV. Goodbye for now.
Kukazikika mwa Kristu ndikutumikira Ambuye. Jubilee yokondwerera zaka 125 za ntchito yofalitsa mthenga wa Mulungu ku Malawi. Bungwe la Episcopi Akatolika ku Malawi MCCB likulengeza za Jubilee ya zaka 125 yomwe idzachitike loweruka pa 19 September 2026 ku St. Mary's Nzama Parish mu Diocese ya Dedza. Iyi ndi parish yoyamba komanso malo oyera komwe chikhulupiriro cha Chikatolika chidazika mizu ndi kukhazikika kuno ku Malawi. Mwambowu udzatsogoleredwa ndi olemekezeka Archbishop Fortunatus Nwachuku omwe ndi nthumwi yapadera ya Papa Leo wa 14. Nsalu yomwe idzavalidwe pa mwambowu ndi ya chaka cha Jubilee ya zaka 125 yomwe ikupezeka m'madayosisi monse m'dziko muno. Kwa zaka 125 mpingo wa Katolika wakhala ukulalika mthenga wabwino, kusula mabanja a Chikhristu, kuphunzitsa achinyamata, kusamalira odwala, kuteteza ulemerero wa munthu aliyense ndi kudzetsa chiyembekezo